Welcome to another wonderful episode of Velvet Owl Watches Movies so you don't have to. We are closing out the the holiday season of seasons. Um, so we're gonna enter in a new year, and hopefully this will be up on New Year's Eve, and you will be listening to this podcast on instead of watching like Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve, because Dick Clark is dead. So you shouldn't watch that. Or you might be waiting till like February to listen to this. I don't know. Either way, it's the final holiday themed movie of the season. It's called Bloody New Year. And the description is when five shipwrecked teenagers visit an island hotel, they are haunted by the ghost of a 1960 New Year's Eve party who have twisted plans. Ooh. This film's from 1987, so the 1960 party isn't that far off. So I guess, they're not going to be as well prepared as like a millennial party would be like, yeah, fuck this. We've got cameras. We're going to zap your asses. We've seen Ghostbusters. Although the partiers in 87, I'm assuming they saw Ghostbusters too. And I mean, two S&T-O-O, that they also saw Ghostbusters, because I don't think Ghostbusters 2 was out yet. But anyhow, let's watch this movie and have a bloody new year. And not a British bloody new year, which would be completely different. That would be a good thing. In England, a bloody new year would be fantastic. Here in America, not so much. Well, the soundtrack couldn't possibly be more 80s. According to the credits, it's this band called Cry No More. Not Faith No More, which probably would have been a lot more interesting. No, this is like a nondescript, like, Cars/Rick Springfield wannabe type band. But, perfect 80s soundtrack. My complaint about it, though, is that it's playing over footage of the New Year's Eve party from 1959. Into 1960. So, yeah, the soundtrack doesn't quite match up there. They could have had like some generic like 50s type music or something. So, everyone's left, because I guess it's already now 1960, the New Year's over, and everyone left the party except for this one girl who looks in the mirror to try to kind of freshen up or whatever, and then she gets pulled into the mirror. Oh no. And then suddenly, we hear a girl scream as she jumps out of the water. We're at the beach. And I thought, like, oh, okay, maybe it was some sort of, like, portal that she fell through, and now she was drowning in the ocean or something. But no, we're now in the modern day being 1989, and a bunch of douchebags are just partying up on the beach. So again, this is going to be one of those movies that it's set in wintertime, but they purposely set it in like a warm location so that they would never have to deal with like trying to make snow for it. And also because, the filmmakers would be like, yeah, let's go somewhere where we can like hang out on the beach between sets instead of like in a blizzard. One of the douchebags, he doesn't have his own girl, so he's very sad and doesn't want to hang around while his friends are like suntan lotioning their girls. So he walks over to the Boardwalk where there's like amusement rides and all that. I don't know. Maybe this is Coney Island. If it's Coney Island, doesn't seem like it's Coney Island in the winter, but it's something like Coney Island, I guess. So he's just going around, and we get a lot of footage of the rides because I think either this is like a tourism commercial or they just really, really needed to pad out the running time. Then suddenly on one of the rides, one of those like kind of like the teacups. I don't know, I can't think of describing, but it's like the teacups that goes around and around while the seats that you're in also go around. Lots of fun. Sure, whatever. For people who like that stuff. But while the ride's going, and no one's on the ride, but the ride's still going, except for this one girl. She's on one of the seats, and there's some hoodlums just terrorizing her, like trying to turn the car around on its own. And meanwhile, our douchebag, lonely guy, this is your total chance to, be the hero. Save her. He kind of just stands there dumbfounded, like, "Oh, no, no," until his friends come by and they see his friends are like, well, you know what? Let's save her. Dumbass. You could have, even though you would have gotten your ass kicked because there's two hoodlums, in the long run, she would have been yours. You would have gotten a kiss. You would have saved the princess. I don't know. It's kind of presumptuous of me to assume that, he would have gotten laid just for sticking up to these hoodlums. But it could have happened. So, the douchebags and the hoodlums are fighting while, let me point out, the ride is still fucking going on. Like, the ride operator even looks out and sees that this commotion is going on. And he's like, do, do, do. Well, first he sees the hoodlums and he's like, no, 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 I'm not going to do anything. Once he sees the douchebags get in on it, like, oh, I got to stop this. And, I mean, the easiest way, in my mind, would have been to, just stop the fucking ride. Nope, 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 nope. I'm going to get out there, and I'm going to do it myself. Luckily, one of the douchebag friends, he's much smarter and realizes, that stopping the ride would probably be the best course of action. So he sneaks over to, the electrical thing and unplugs the ride. And it stops, and it's enough for the douchebag friends and the damsel in distress to run out of there. The douchebag's girlfriends are getting their palms read, and they're British, which is just kind of weird for me. I don't know why. I'll get to something back about the British thing that's kind of throwing my mind off, because now I don't know if this is in England or America, because they're Brit. It seems like the women are British and the guys are American. So I don't know what's going on. But anyhow, they're getting their fortune read, and the fortune teller sees something bad that's going to happen. But then the girls get pulled out because their douchebag boyfriends are like, we got to get out of here. Because they're being chased by the hoodlums and the ride operator, who I guess is part of the hoodlums? I don't know. The douchebags took something, and he's very mad, and he wants it back. And there's a big chase across everything, and the douchebags try to hide out in the haunted house, but the hoodlums come after them, and then the British girls drive through the haunted house with their car that's pulling a boat. And so the douchebags are like, ha, we are saved. Now here's my thing. She's driving on the left side. The car, the wheel is on the... What I mean to say is that the wheel is on the right side of the car. So backwards of how we drive here in America. So is the car British? Did the British girls bring a car? Or is this set in England and the British girls just have American boyfriends? I don't know. I guess I will have to keep watching and see if I get other clues like superfluous letter U. Superfluous letter U's. If I was a top-notch professional podcast, I would keep re-editing that until I got it right. But I'm not top-notch at all. No, I guess they all are British. I don't know. I don't know why I thought I heard American accents before. But no, they're all Brits. And they get into their little sailboat along with the damsel in distress because she's like, might as well go for the ride. Why not? I don't know these strangers, but they saved me from some hoodlums. The hoodlums that, were shaking their fists at them as they left. Like, we'll get you. I still don't know why the ride operator was so, insistent on... If it was simply that they stole some piece from the ride, why didn't they just give the piece back to them? And then they would have had one less person chasing after them. But they're on the sailboat, and unfortunately the sailboat springs a leak. Luckily, the sailboat has gotten them far enough that they're close enough to an island that they can just kind of swim to shore. And not even swim to shore, kind of just walk through the water. The water at this point is shallow enough that they can just kind of walk through it. And they get to shore, but there's something mysterious behind some trees, watching them land on shore. So the douchebags are going through the jungle, or the woods, climbing through, completely missing or ignoring the sign that says, danger, keep out. So, sorry guys, You were warned. So everything that happens is on you. They find the remains of a dirt bike, and the one guy's like, cool, let's check this out, let's look at it. And everyone's like, we can't do this, we're all wet, let's go find somewhere dry. And he's like, oh, okay, guys. And so they walk, and they find the Grand Island Hotel, which makes me laugh, because the Grand Island is a suburb right near me that I could go over. Except the bridge to the Grand Island is very scary. Very scary Grand Island Bridge. So that's probably going to be scarier than anything in this film. Although they did, use them in A Quiet Place 2. I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the trailer, and that scared me. Because the Grand Island Bridge scares me a lot. So they found this hotel, the Grand Island Hotel. So they go inside the hotel, which is deserted. And, well, they think it's just empty, but they think it's weird because it's all decorated for Christmas and New Year. And it's only July. Like, really? Like, the theme of your movie is New Year's. Like, it's fucking called Bloody New Year. And you said it during July? Why? Because they did not want to pay for fake snow. That is why. It ruins the feel of the film. This does not feel like New Year's to me. At least pretend that global warming is the reason there's no snow for New Year's this year. That's what you can do. If you don't want to make fake snow, just blame it all on global warming, climate change, whatever you want to go with. But they decide to investigate because there's no one there to check them in. So they're going to go around this spooky hotel. Woo! And I don't know. I feel like I probably should, differentiate these people for sake of when they get killed off. But so far, there's not really much that differentiates them from each other. So there's 3 guys, 3 girls. Gonna be guy 1, guy 2, guy 3, girl 1, girl 2, girl 3, and it doesn't matter because I probably will forget who's who anyhow. So that's how I'm going with them. So guy 1 and guy 2 have gone in one direction, or guy 1 and girl 1 have gone in one direction. Guy 2 and girl 2 have gone in a different direction, and guy 3 and girl 3 are in their own direction. Got it? Guy 3 and girl 3 have gone to the bar because they want to get their drink on. Because, hey, if no one's around, let's fucking steal the booze, right? I mean, I can understand if they thought it was just abandoned at this point and they're like, okay, let's steal the booze. But, I don't know. Maybe they have good intentions. Maybe they're thinking, we'll drink the booze and then we'll pay for it. We'll leave the money when whoever owns the hotel finally shows up. But oh no, there's a scary face in the window and girl 3 screams like, ah! And guy 3 runs outside like, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, I don't see anyone here. Oh, well, maybe a groundskeeper. And they go back to getting their drink on. Because, who cares? We've got booze. I don't care if there's some crazy guy peering through the windows. Girl 1 has started a fire because she's cold. Not like just a random fire, like in the fireplace. Just not like in the middle of let me just light this on fire. No. She, in the proper place, proper safety precautions, and guy 1 goes off to find her a blanket. But then the maid comes in and gives her a blanket. Like, oh, how nice of her. Except what girl 1 didn't see is that the maid just materialized out of nowhere. The maid is a ghost. Ooh. 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 Now, girl 2 is in the bath, and there's no boobs in the scene. Which, what the hell? It's an 80s horror movie. Rated R. It's not one of the PG-13 horror movies. It's rated R. And they can't give us a nipple. then why are you even putting a bathtub scene in here? Know your role, horror movie. Know your role. She starts hearing lots of noises, and then suddenly it's boy number 2, and they're like, all right, and they make out, and still no boobs. I'm just saying, this film is pretty fucking boring so far. They could have spiced things up with a nipple here or there. In the bathtub. Would have been perfect. It would not have been gratuitous because people are naked in the bathtub. So yeah, there would be a titty popping out and you'd see a nipple. Some of the bubbles would just strategically not be placed. It would have been artistic, director. It would have been artistic. Meanwhile, guy 1 has gone into the lobby or the mess hall or something, and there's the stage, and there's a band playing. And I think it's the band from the 1959 New Year's Eve party. Except they're playing the generic awful 80s rock. So, I don't know. Maybe they've just been playing as ghosts in this hotel for all this time, and they grew bored of what they were playing, so they decide, well, let's learn some of the new music the kids like. Let's just keep it interesting. So who knows? This is something we never really learn about ghosts. Do ghosts, like, try to keep up with the current fads? So maybe they're just like, we're bored of playing 50s music, so let's learn some of this 80s stuff. Man, this 80s stuff sucks. And as Guy 2 gets closer to the stage, suddenly they disappear. And he hears some doors opening and closing. He gets a bad feeling. He has a bad feeling about this. He thinks they should get the hell out of there. I agree. Now, girl 2 and guy 2 are out of the bathtub, getting dressed. She's already in her underwear. Again, director, wouldn't it have been completely gratuitous to just see the moment before she put on her underwear? But anyhow, they're putting on the clothes that they found. These 1950s type clothes that they just found in the room, which I had no sympathy for these people to begin with. But you're stealing booze and you're just grabbing clothes that you found and putting them on and being like, fuck it, we found it. And it'd be okay if they had thought this was an abandoned hotel. No, they think it's a still operational hotel. And they think that, the people running it just aren't by yet. So, yeah, let's help ourselves to all this crap. I hate them. They can't die soon enough. We're only a third through the movie. Damn it. Can't you just kill all 6 of them in one sweep and then spend the next hour, I don't know, with that bad 80s band? I would take that. I would take that. Girl 2 looks in the mirror and thinks she sees that the girl that originally was wearing the dress that she just put on. Or, she's in that dress. So we're assuming it's the original one. And she's like, spooky. But then let's fuck. So they fuck. And then, because I guess this film wants to be like some sort of Italian horror movie. Maybe this is Italian and they just overdubbed bad English. Possibly. Because it looks like they're trying to go for that fancy Italian art house horror. Because suddenly, they're fucking. And again, we see nothing. And then we see in the mirror the original girl. But then suddenly, girl 2 is watching over them in the dress, crying. Now, guy 3 is playing pool. And girl 3 is like, hey, let's fuck on the pool table. And he's like, no, I'm playing pool here. Dumbass. Go for it. Go fuck on the pool table. Because you know what? You guys have no respect for this fucking hotel anyhow, so might as well just go fuck on the pool table. But no, he doesn't want to. He wants to finish his game of pool. And then as they leave, they don't notice, but spooky. The balls all go back into position. Woo! Guy 1 has brought the blanket for girl 1. And she's like, oh, I saw a maid. There are people here. He's like, yeah, but they're strange. They're playing some sort of weird games. I think we should leave. And she points out the obvious. But we haven't a boat! Which, yeah, that does kind of suck. You guys don't have a boat. How are you going to get out? Though, if there are people at the hotel, they must have had a way in. So there must be a way out. Except, yeah, they're playing weird games. So even though they don't know that's ghost, something weird going on. And Guy 3 and Girl 3 are in the basement looking for the fuse box when Girl 3 is like, fuck this, let's fuck. Right here on this ratty old mattress on the floor. I mean, I guess it's not as good as, the pool table. I mean, you should have gone for the pool table, dude. You should have gone for the pool table. But he doesn't want to do it here either, even though she's trying to jump his bones. He's like, gotta find the fuse box. We gotta get the electricity back on. And he does find the fuse box and turns it on, and it somehow sets off some firecrackers. But it doesn't burn down the hotel. Amazingly. Firecrackers go off, but they don't burn out. And all this noise and everywhere, the lights and music are going on, and everyone's like, whoa, what's going on? And then a vacuum attacks. And that's probably as entertaining as I'm going to be by this film, because that was kind of amusing. The vacuum cleaner just comes after them. I don't know, I guess old 50s vacuums could move on their own. Like, you didn't have to push them. So, it was a jump scare, but then Guy 3 and Girl 3 come up and like, don't worry, we just put on the power. Like, oh boy, yay! And they ignore the TV broadcast in every room that is obviously from the 60s as they're talking about some, like, radioactive invisible plane or something, which I think somehow has something to do with all the ghosts in his hotel. I don't know how yet, but I'm guessing that's what we're gonna find out. But, they don't pay attention to that fact because they're too busy putting on more clothes from the people that are dead now, because they just have no fucking respect, do they? Like, clothes, they're here, no one else is here, they're ours for the taking. Even though Guy 1 and Guy 2, or Guy 1 and Girl 1 have determined people are at the hotel right now, they're still just stealing clothes. They can't die soon enough. With the electricity back on, the film projector turns back on. Kind of later than everything else turned back on, but it turns back on and everyone decides, hey, or actually I think it might have started at the same time and they just realized later on, because they heard the voices from the film, Fiend Without a Face. And they're like, okay, let's go see this movie. Except for Guy 2, who decides he's going to be in the projectionist booth, I guess, to work the film projector. I don't know, maybe he has experience with it. Because, you do have to switch reels, especially this is still the 80s. And then on top of that, if this is all set up from the 50s, then you definitely have to switch reels to keep the movie going, and you have to time it perfectly so people don't realize that you've switched the reels. And so I guess that's his job. And they're watching a movie, then suddenly it turns to footage of the Grand Island Hotel, and all these people just kind of having fun and waving at the camera. At this point, guy number 1 decides that he's going to make fun of this. He sat respectfully for the awful, like, sci-fi horror movie that played beforehand. That shit was worthy of, like, completely Mystery Science Theater 3000 it. But no, he was respectful for that. But once it's just people waving at the camera, well, he's going to make fun of it, and he goes up to the screen, and ha ha ha, and one of them jumps out and scratches him. And the scratch is enough to kill him. Dun, dun, dun. Oh no, what's going on? Ghost. Well, they don't know if it's Ghost. All they know is someone jumped out from behind the screen and killed guy number 1, which I'm glad that they're going to kill them in order. I don't know if they're going to kill them in the order I, like, assigned numbers to people, but that would be nice. That would make things a lot more helpful. So, Guy number 1 is dead. Guy 2 thinks everyone's crazy for thinking that there's some sort of monster that killed Guy 1. But they go around looking, see if they can find anyone to help. And there's a little country townhouse or something, or fishing shack. I think it's a fishing shack considering what's inside when they come in. And Guy 3 and Girl 3 go in. And suddenly there's a fishing net that drops on Girl 3. But luckily Guy 3 is able to save her from the fishing net by using a hatchet to cut it open. And then suddenly a seaweed monster or some shit jumps out from a table and attacks. But luckily Guy 3 has a fishing spear that he uses to kill the monster. Or so he thinks. The monster kind of just disappears. But suddenly something grabs him from the back. Oh no, what is it? I don't know. We're switching scenes. Guy 2 and Girl 2 are walking through the woods when they start hearing laughing. But it's not normal laughing. It's a laugh track. I mean, I don't know if they realize it's a laugh track or if, we're all supposed to pretend it's real laughing, but it's obviously the canned laughter laugh track from sitcoms. And something invisible starts chasing after them. They're not sure what, but they can hear rustling of bushes and footsteps, and some really bad generic Miami Vice wannabe music starts playing. And the whole thing, like the music, the running, the music, and the laugh track just builds into this sort of like absurdist surrealism that I kind of really dig. I wish the rest of the movies like this. I want more horror movies that have laugh tracks. I think it's a brilliant idea. So, I guess 1 point for this film. Still doesn't make up for the lack of boobs so far. Then Girl 2 and Guy 2, they see a plane crash. Like, oh no, they run over to see if anyone's there that they can help. But suddenly the fire of the plane is out, and there's no one there. Oh no. Then Guy 2 looks into the mirror, and he sees behind him a pilot who's all disfigured. But when he turns around, the pilot's not there. It's another ghost. I bet it's the ghost of that experimental plane that they were talking about. Had they just listened to the newscast that was playing on the television, they would have known. Meanwhile, girl number 1, she sees the maid, so she follows the maid into this other, house. But the maid's not inside, and she's looking around. She opens one door, and whoosh! A blizzard comes inside and attacks her. So I guess there was some money in the budget for fake snow, and they used it for this scene. But then she opens her eyes, and the blizzard's gone. It was a ghost blizzard! Ooh! Girl 3 comes to get her friends and say, help, help, we need to help Guy 3. He's in trouble. So they run, but he's not anywhere around. They think oh no, did he fall off the cliff? Oh no, we gotta get out of here. But then suddenly, the ride operator guy is there. Which I gotta say, he must be really, really fucking pissed off about whatever it was that they stole from him, that he went all the way to this island and followed them just to... I don't even know anymore. He's got a chain around his fist and he's trying to beat up guy number 2. When suddenly girl number 3 jumps in his way and he punches her in the stomach. And it goes right through her. And suddenly she's like a zombie and throws him out off the cliff. And I don't know what the fuck is going on. Just what? No, seriously, what? And of course everyone else is scared of their newly zombified friend. So guy number 2 throws a fishnet on top of her and lights a flare and throw it at her. And that's enough to slow her down. But girl number 2 is going crazy. Oh no, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna just keep running. She seriously says that. She's just gonna keep running. Where are you gonna run to? It's an island. Are you gonna run into the water and just swim back to wherever you guys came from? They decide the best place to hide out is inside the hotel, so they go back and try to fortify it so no one could get in. But they don't do a very good job, and one of the thugs comes in, and they're able to knock him out by hitting him over the head with a bottle. And then they run up girl number one, I think. She runs upstairs, and the other thug comes somersaulting through the window. And, I mean, this is impressive, because he jumped and did, like, a somersault through a window on the second floor. Like, just, I don't even know how that was possible. Kudos on this guy. Like, he's a fucking, like, acrobat and shit. And he gets in, and he's about to kill her, but, oh no, zombified girl number 3 pops up from the ceiling and just twists his head around and around and around until he's just dead. I mean, I'm sure the first twist is where he died, but she just kept on going until he was dead for sure. And again, I just kind of have no idea what's going on in this movie. People are running, people are yelling. There's a zombie girl and head twisting. I don't know. This isn't a very bloody New Year. See, it was because it's fucking British. So it wasn't meant bloody as in there's a lot of blood. It's like, bloody New Year. Now, guy number 2 has found a rifle, and he uses it to shoot zombified girl number 3. Which, the first 5 shots have, like, absolutely no effect on her whatsoever. That 6th shot just fucking knocks her out for the count. So it's not even like it shoots and then she, like, kind of staggers back and, like, slumps to one knee or something. No, like, the first 5, just no effect. She keeps walking normally, and then she just crumples. And then they chop off her arm, because everyone knows the best way to stop a zombie, to make sure they're dead, chop off their arm. I don't really know what the plan there was. They just chopped off her arm. They realized that the thugs must have had a boat to have made it to the island, so they just need to find the boat, and then they can get off this island. But guy number 3 suddenly shows up, and he's in complete shock, so he's in no shape to help them find the boat. So girl 2 decides she's going to stay with guy 3 to protect him, while guy 1 and girl 1 and guy 2, doesn't matter, one of the guys and one of the girls are off to find the boat. Stuff happens. The ghost pilot gets vaporized, and guy number 3 becomes a zombie, and then girl number 2 gets sucked into the wall. Because this movie just hates me at this point. More stuff happens as the house tries to kill them and throws dishes all over the place, and one of the thugs that's still alive falls into the laundry presser, and it steams them into soup and burps because apparently it ate them. And so guy 2 and girl 1 manage to escape, and as they look back, the house just puts itself back together. All the dishes become unbroken. Because at the very least, at least the house is tidy. The house has some good manners. It may be trying to kill you, but it at least wants to keep the place clean. And really, it's probably going to kill you because you don't want to keep the place clean. If you were a better house guest and just taking care of everything, then maybe the house wouldn't want to kill you. Just my 2 cents. They're running, and then they reach the ballroom where on stage, zombified girl number 3 is up there wearing like a prom dress or something. And she tells the story of how, it was New Year's Eve, and an experimental plane crashed that had something that controlled time or destroyed time, and now everyone's stuck there. So I'm not sure if she's part of the original, like, New Year's Eve gang. Her dress certainly doesn't look like it's from the 50s. It's a little too slutty. And yeah, and plus, if she was part of the gang that's stuck there, then how did she get off there to the point where she met the other guys and lured them back into this island? So I don't know if she just now, because she's dead, she's part of like the gang of ghosts that are forced to live there forever till the end of time. More running around, and they get chased by a pinball machine, which I think they could have done more with. If someone out there wants to make a movie about Killer Pinball Machine, I would see it. I would watch a movie about a killer pinball machine. In fact, after I'm done with this film, I'm gonna look up and see if there is a film about a killer pinball machine. Because it seems like something someone should have done at this point. This pinball machine, not so much a killer, just kind of chases them, and the ghosts, the zombified corpses of everyone who's died there, is chasing them, telling them to stay there with them for the rest of time. But guy 2 and girl 1 manage to escape from the hotel, and they're running towards the boat, and they get into the water, and they're going to be free, except guy 2 hears girl 2 calling to him to save her, and he's like, I have to go. And even though girl 1's like, no, don't do it, it's a trap, because it's obviously a trap. Girl 2 died, so she's a ghost. But guy 2, he's running across the sand when he lands into some quicksand, and he's falling, and just his head is stuck out. And unfortunately, here comes the ride operator, who's still, pissed off, and now he's zombified, so he's doubly pissed off, and he kills him with a weed whacker, which we don't see because I don't think the film had the budget for it. And girl 2, girl 2's the ghost. Girl 1, she's off in the boat, and she thinks, well, at least I'm going to get away. When something drags her through the boat, and she drowns, I guess. I'm assuming. We don't really see. We don't even see something reach in through the boat. We just see her fall through the boat. So it could have been just there was a hole in the boat in this one as well, and it was big enough for her to fall through. And so now there's a New Year's Eve party going on at the hotel. I'm not sure if these are new people or if they're people that have been dead, because it kind of looks like one of the guy looks like guy number 1, but I don't know. Everyone's got different clothes, and it's all modern clothes, so I don't think modern being 80s. But so I don't think these are people that died from the original New Year's party. But girl number 2 is trying to scream because she's stuck in the mirror. Or not, girl number 1. Doesn't matter. One of the girls. She's stuck in the mirror, and she's yelling for help, but no one hears her. And the movie ends there. And I'm really, really fucking confused on this is a new group of people having a New Year's Eve party. How did this come to be? Like, who booked this party? Like, did they talk to, like, the ghost manager and, like, okay, yeah. Were they aware this hotel existed? Did they land on the island? And if so, are they dead? If they're dead, why doesn't the girl able to communicate? Why is she stuck in the mirror? Can't she, like, send the pinball machine after them or something? I don't know. I'm just very disappointed in the fact that there kind of was just a complete lack of, like, a New Year's theme on this film. You call your film Bloody New Year, and it almost has almost nothing to do with New Year's Eve. Just not even, like, people stuck in, celebrating it over and over and over. It's just, I don't know. But, I mean, I guess if there's any bright point to watching this movie at the end of 2021, that means 2022 has nowhere to go but up in terms of movies. Because I don't know if there's going to be any movie worse than this. I probably will end up finding it. And I will hate myself for it. Because I hate myself as much as this movie hated me. So, velvetal@hotmail.com, or leave a comment if you feel the desire to.